This is a Leitmotif and Movement podcast, the father and son's journey into the vast worlds of music. I'm your host, Mike Ficklin, and joining me on this epic musical journey is my son,
Michael Ficklin.
This show is dedicated to the discussion of music and introducing Michael to music from the past and present. We will mainly be discussing the genres of rock, hard rock, and heavy metal. We will also from time to time dive into film and video game scores, and we'll sprinkle in some surprises along the way. And as we do on every episode, we're going to open up with, Michael, what have you been listening to this week?
I started off this week with listening to last episode's assignment, and then towards the end of the week, I was listening more to the assignment than I was at the beginning of the week.
To this week's assignment?
Yeah.
Did you listen to both the Metallica song and the Sinatra song?
You mean the album?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. And you listened to last week's?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the 36 Crazy Fist record? Yeah. Yeah, once you start talking about that, it's kind of hard not to want to go back and listen to it. I did the same thing after we recorded our last episode.
I know.
In fact, I was in the kitchen working and I was singing along to it and stuff. And aside from listening to the 36 Crazy Fist record and what we're going to be discussing today, I did take some time and listened to the new Oceans of Slumber record, Where Gods Fear to Speak. It is equal parts beautiful and brutal. Maybe the most diverse album from the Houston, Texas prog metalers thus far. Vocalist Cammie Gilbert-Beverly really shines on this record. Musically, they continue to evolve. Mm-hmm. They're never really content to repeat their past patterns. The record packs so much emotion. It's a lot of melancholy and sorrow. It's a true work of art that deserves multiple listens to fully appreciate. Mm-hmm. It's one of my highest recommendations for the year. Mm-hmm. This was a really awesome album. Listened to it a couple times. I need to listen to it some more because it feels like every time I listen to it, I pick up on something else.
What do you mean by brutal? I think you said brutal. I don't know.
Yeah. What I mean by brutal is that it goes heavy and hard in sections. Mm-hmm. They actually use some like death metal growls and stuff in it, which is kind of a change because their last record, they didn't really do any of that. In fact, can't remember that they've done the death metal growls in the last couple of records. It's mostly just been all clean stuff.
So melodic.
Yeah. Yeah, Cammie, she's got this really beautiful voice, almost operatic. And you don't hear a lot of the brutal screaming and stuff like that, and just the real heavy stuff out of them. So this had a little bit of both in it. It was kind of nice, the dichotomy in it.
What is their singer higher up on the octave or lower on the octave?
You know, I really don't know. I don't know that I've ever heard what she can do, what her full range is. She usually kind of sits in I guess I would consider it kind of a middle octave.
So, alto?
Maybe. You'll have to listen to them. They're awesome. Also listened to the new single from Mastodon and Lamb of God. It's called Floods of Triton, and it goes hard. I think I mentioned to you last episode that I was looking forward to listening to this because I thought it was going to go hard, and I was right. It's a fantastic team-up track that makes me actually wish for a whole album between these two metal giants. I mean, this might be the heaviest stuff that Mastodon's done in a while. I mean, it goes hard. Randy Bly, the singer from Lamb of God, he's always had these killer, harsh vocals. I would kind of equate him to like a heavy punk kind of vibe. And I mean, he always goes hard, and just his addition alone almost makes it heavy, great stuff.
I don't think you said anything about that collab. on the last episode?
Pretty sure I did.
I don't know. I was looking at last episode's show notes.
It might have been in a different part than what we're looking forward to. I might have mentioned it in what was I listening to. I don't know. I can't remember. I've slept since then. Ago. Yeah. The other single anyway, that I've been listening to was the new single from Ginger. It's called Rogue. And they released a different single a few weeks ago that showed off Tatiana's clean vocal range. This is straight up hard and heavy. She's going in the full death growl mode. It makes me yearn for a new Ginger record. With 2 singles having been released in such short succession, I'm wondering if a new record is imminent.
I was about to ask if they're hinting at a new record or they've announced a new record. And
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, they have not yet announced a record yet. They have announced a new tour that they're going on. So maybe that record announcement is right around the corner.
Maybe not. I don't know. And also, where are they from? Give some background.
Ginger, I've mentioned before. I think I mentioned them on the very first episode of the show. They're from Ukraine. And I believe their new tour is a world tour. In fact, I think they're coming to the States. If they get close, I'd like to go see them.
They sound interesting to see.
The other stuff that I've been listening to more Amorphous. And the deeper I get into their catalog, the more I'm liking what they're doing. They're becoming more and more melodic, more and more progressive metal instead of like they started out kind of like a death metal band, and the longer it goes on, the more progressive they get, the more melodic they get, and I've really enjoyed most of my journey with these guys. Not quite all the way caught up with them, but I have been going through their entire library, and it's been a fantastic journey.
How big is their library?
Big. There's quite a bit of stuff, especially when you consider all of the singles and live albums that they've done on top of the studio albums.
Honestly, most people don't do live albums.
I wouldn't say that. A lot of bands do live albums.
The main bands I listen to don't.
Such as? Periphery did a live album.
But that was during, I think they're just trying to get people to get over the COVID time, mostly. I don't know, though.
Live albums are actually pretty big business for bands, especially bands from the past. I'm not a big fan of them, but Kiss made a big living off of their Alive record. So a lot of bands do live records. You just haven't been exposed to as much of it. And moving through into our next segment, one of our favorite segments on the show, The Art of Discovery, wherein we take a listen to some indie artists out there that are making some great music. And this week we've got a phenomenal selection of songs. This is stuff that Michael's just hearing for the first time. And we're going to start out with a song from a band called Embers Ignite. The song is called The World Burns. It's from their Visions of a Dying World EP.
Feel my
Once again, that was Embers Ignite with The World Burns, and that is from their EP Visions of a Dying World. These guys are from High Peak, Derbyshire, United Kingdom.
Ooh.
What'd you think?
If I am going off the songs from the Art of Discovery from the past episodes, I'm pretty sure this is the hardest, heaviest song we've listened to.
Yeah, for sure. It goes real hard, right? Good stuff, though. Good musicianship. Solid musicianship.
Yes.
Hard to play that fast.
Yeah.
Our next song is from an artist that goes by Xenakis Minor. This song is called See You When I See You, and it's from the XM1 EP. That's X like X-ray, M like Mary, number 1 EP. And again, that was Xenakis Minor with See You When I See You, which is off of the XM1 EP. His music is progressive rock with a piano, and it's beautiful, amazing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think?
I liked it. I wasn't expecting it to carry on that long. I thought it'd be like a 2 minute to like 1 minute piano type instrumental. I don't know.
Very talented.
Yeah. Very, very, very.
I couldn't find where he was from, but I love his music. I've listened to this EP several times.
Mm-hmm.
Very chill. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Very chill from the last song.
Well, that actually leads us into our last song on this episode's Art of Discovery segment. This is from a band called Mindfield, and this song is titled Architect of Ruin. And again, that was Mindfield with Architect of Ruin. Mindfield is a one-man progressive metal act out of Berlin, Germany. And I kind of equate them a bit to prog metal bands like Ginger or Gojira. Good stuff.
Agreed.
Goes hard.
Agreed. Again.
So we had like the laid back prog rock piano song in the middle of two just hard songs, right?
Agreed.
Enjoy those?
Yes.
We want to thank all of the bands featured on this episode's Art of Discovery segment for allowing us to play their stuff on the show and allowing us to check them out.
Mm-hmm.
As always, the credits for these songs will appear in our show notes so that you can go and check them out as well.
I am very thankful for the bands letting us play their songs.
Always awesome discovering new stuff. Always.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and now it's time to get into our main topic of the day. It is breaking down Metallica's 1984 release, Ride the Lightning. Ride the Lightning was the second studio album recorded by Metallica and released on July 27th, 1984 by the independent record label Megaforce Records. The album was recorded in approximately 3 weeks with producer Flemming Rasmussen at Sweet Silence Studios in Copenhagen, Denmark. My understanding is that the title of the record was taken from a passage that appears in the Stephen King novel The Stand, in which a character uses the phrase referring to an execution by electric chair.
Okay.
Yeah. The album, obviously, overall, really heavily rooted in thrash metal, but I know you have not heard their first album, but this album really starts to introduce introduce more melody to the entire record. There's a lot of melody despite how fast and heavy some of these songs are. And a lot of that was brought on by Metallica's then bassist Cliff Burton. Cliff basically taught music theory to the band so that they could grow as musicians. The album opens up with Fight Fire with Fire. Michael, what'd you think of this?
The first time I heard it, at the first part of the song, it's all acoustic guitar. And I thought it was just gonna be like a chillax band lay back. Then I get into the later of the song, and I was not expecting it.
Not expecting it to go hard, huh?
Yeah, at all. And I also I think their singer's vocals is different than other bands' vocals.
Yeah, he's got an interesting delivery, doesn't he? Where would you classify his vocal range sitting at? By the way, his name is James Hetfield. He is not only the vocalist for the band, but he's also plays rhythm guitar for the band.
I want to say medium.
You want to say medium?
Yeah, a low alto, close to tenor. Tenor is higher than baritone. Baritone is the middle of tenor and bass. Bass is the lowest, from my understanding. And then there's like a higher soprano, soprano is kind of high, but I would play some low alto.
Okay. And did you like the song?
Yeah.
It goes from that acoustic to that unexpected hard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that acoustic intro before the all-out sonic blitz is just, yeah. It goes so hard. makes you do that
Yeah.
metal face. I love James Hetfield's kind of snarling delivery of the lyrics. And yeah, there's an amazing harmonic dual guitar solo, and just a blistering opening track. Just goes hard, man. I'm trying to keep the show tame for the kids out there. There are choice words that I would use to describe some of this stuff. I love this stuff. This song is awesome. It's a great opener.
Agreed.
The next song is the title track from the record, Ride the Lightning. Michael, what'd you think of this one?
If I'm going off my list correctly, this was my second favorite, and the opening track, surprisingly, was my favorite. Overall favorite. With this song, I like the instrumental part of the song, and also I like the vocals, and I feel like this whole entire album, they're just jamming out.
The musicianship on this album is just killer.
They
They
immaculate.
They're rolling on this album. Yeah, I thought Lars's drum work to open the song, just it gets your head banging and gets your feet stomping, and then kicks in those just this evil as hell sounding guitar.
Yeah.
It's kind of an incredibly dark tale of a man sentenced to death via electric chair. Just, there's a really killer guitar solo, more of the dual harmonic lead guitars. An absolutely iconic song in Metallica's library. One of my absolute favorites. Really good song. And you said this was your second favorite song on the record? And so Fight Fire with Fire was your first favorite on the song?
Yes.
Let me ask you this. When you were listening to this album, could you see the influences on, say, a band like 36 Crazy Fists?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can really hear, and the more music that you listen to, especially from the modern bands, you're really gonna keep being able to hear that influence from Metallica, because Metallica is a massive influence on a lot of the heavier bands you'll listen to from today.
Listening to this album, it kind of seems like it influenced most bands now today in the metal scene.
You could definitely hear it. The next track on the record is a song called For Whom the Bell Tolls. Michael, what'd you think of this one?
Like I said on the other songs, I really like the instrumental on this whole entire album. Vocals are great. I like how the drum work and guitar work works very well on this song in particular.
I love the bells ringing on this song. This has to be one of the most kind of sinister, foreboding openings to a song of all time. The tolling of the bell it adds that real chilling effect, that chilling tone. I think lead guitarist Kirk Hammett and James Hetfield are just killing it on this song. Cliff Burton on the bass, and Lars Ulrich on the drums, just holding it down. Just the lyrics on the song are just real dark and just evil sounding. There's kind of this dark overtone to the entire album. This song is just another one of those iconic headbanging songs, man. I love this song.
I do agree on your opinions on this song.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, I've never seen Metallica live before, but I would love to, and I really would love to hear them play like this whole album, but I would settle for just a couple of songs, and this is one of them. I love this song. Anything else on this one?
Nope.
All right. Moving on to the next track is Fade to Black. What'd you think of this one?
I want you to start on this one.
Okay. So, Fade to Black, for me, I love the opening to this song. The song kind of feels like a suicide lament. The tone and feel of the song is really somber and melancholic until the guitars just kick in and start shredding things wide open. It's an absolute metal classic. The harmonized guitars are back at the end of it. Just amazing guitar work throughout the song. And that guitar work it sends the song out with a bang at the end. Or not a funny story, but an interesting story. Interesting story about this song. This was one of those songs that the kids in high school liked to play when I was in high school. I would hear this. This was one of the songs that I would hear. So, as one of the students brought in. I can't remember what his name was now. But he brought in an acoustic guitar and started playing this I think it was in our drama class. But yeah, this is just another one of those iconic Metallica songs. This song's amazing.
Funny thing, so whenever I walk around my school right now, I know at least a few teachers downstairs where my history classes. There's 3 teachers that 2 of them play guitar and 1 plays the drums. And every time I'm walking to 5th period, which is my history class, all I'm hearing is drums and guitar. And then in 1st period and 2nd period, which is my English class, my English teacher plays the guitar. And fun fact, he is self-taught, if I remember right. And he's pretty good, actually.
Does he play anything you know?
I did not recognize anything he played.
Okay.
But also, he was playing on acoustic guitar.
Is he good?
Yeah.
Awesome. So, back to the song. What'd you think?
I do agree with your opinions, and I want to add that every time it's just chill at the beginning, the guitars just come in and just shred the whole entire song into heavy.
Just a legendary song.
Agreed.
Next track on the record is a track called Trapped Under Ice. I never really knew what exactly this song was about, but in my mind, I thought the lyrics kind of evoked kind of this really scary claustrophobic feeling. Do you know what claustrophobia is?
Yeah.
It's it's fear of enclosed spaces.
Yeah.
So I suffer from a little bit of that. And when I hear the lyrics to the song, I kind of feel like this scary claustrophobic feeling. If you can imagine being literally trapped under ice and how scary that would actually be.
And freezing.
Yeah. But from the little bit of research I did on this, it turns out the song is about a person who wakes up from a cryonic state and realizes that there's nowhere to go and no one's coming to the rescue. So they're just kind of awaiting their death, basically. So I guess I'm not too far off of it. But as far as the song itself, it's just another straight up thrash banger. Just blazing guitar work. It goes really, really hard. There's another absolutely blistering guitar solo on this song. Yeah. Makes me make that metal face. You?
I didn't really feel the way that you felt about the
claustrophobia?
Yeah. I just felt like it's another song that is on the album that just goes chill to heavy. I think that's just like a similarity with like every song on this album.
Not every song, but there's definitely
Yeah.
some of them definitely are that way. Anything else to say on this one?
Nope.
You sure?
Yep.
All right. So moving on to the next song. This song is called Escape. I admittedly am not... This is not my favorite song on the record at all, by any stretch of the imagination. Probably my least favorite song on the record. I do like the vocal melodies during the chorus on this. The guitar work during the chorus is also quite melodic and pleasant as well. I'm not overly impressed with what's happening during the verses. It's a lot of straight up palm mute chugging on the guitar. There's some really excellent guitar work on the solo, but it's not my favorite song on the record by far.
I can agree with you on that.
It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
My understanding is that this song was originally titled The Hammer, and it was originally intended to be released as a single off the record. And that's mostly due to the more conventional song structure and kind of the lighter tone it has.
Yeah. It seems like it would be a solo.
You mean a single?
Yeah.
It just doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
It's easily the weakest song on the record by far. Anything else on this one?
Hey, at least it isn't like the inside.
Yeah, I mean it's not straight up throwaway. It's just different, right? It's got a completely different vibe than the rest of this record. It's like one of these things isn't like the other, right?
Yeah.
So
It's like throwing in a random melodic song in a full heavy metal album.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute. How did we get here?
How did we get here? Am I on the wrong album?
Yeah.
Did Spotify shuffle
Did it
me?
randomly change on me? Yeah. Anything else on this one?
Nope.
No? Alright. The next song on the record is Creeping Death. And yeah. This is my jam right here, man. This is my absolute favorite song on the record. Just a killer intro to the song. It gives you that metal face. There's some absolutely iconic riffs on this song. The lyrics are based on the tale of Passover, or the hand of God killing the firstborn of Egypt in order to get Pharaoh to free the Hebrew slaves in Egypt. It's a biblical story. The song just goes so hard, but it has a lot of melody to it. There's it's killer guitar solo. The anthemic chanting section, the Die By My Hand towards the end of the song, it just goes out as epic and as hard as it starts. I could listen to the song over and over again. I love Creeping Death.
I did not realize it was about that.
Yeah. Your thoughts on this?
Now, knowing this, I might like this song even more because of the history behind it.
Apparently, from what I read, the actual title of the song was inspired by the scene from the movie The Ten Commandments, which I know you've never seen it before, but it's based on this piece from the Bible, from the book of Exodus, describing how the Hebrews are finally freed from the Egyptians. And even there's the chorus, "So let it be written, so let it be done," that's literally pulled from the film, from a couple of lines from the film where they say that Pharaoh says it every time he gives a command, "So let it be written, so let it be done." I love the song.
Fun fact. So I'm in choir in school, and my teacher is having us sing a song about basically Moses, basically that whole entire Bible section from this song.
From this song?
No,
or
not
you mean
like
from the book of Exodus?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's the title of the song?
Let My People Go?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that what this song is about, is that making you think of that song then?
Yeah.
Kind of puts us in a different light. So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
The first time you heard this song, did it do anything for you the first time you heard it?
No.
No? How about any of the subsequent times that you heard it? Well, let me put it this way. Do you still consider it below Fight Fire with Fire and Ride the Lightning?
Knowing this now, I'm going to re-listen to it, and I'll report back, but originally it was going to be my top 3.
Awesome. Yeah, this song is probably... It ranks way up there as far as my favorite Metallica songs ever. Probably reaches top 3. This is another one of those songs that if I ever got to go see them live, I absolutely have to see them play this song. Just awesome stuff. I love this song. Anything else on Creeping Death?
Nope.
No? All right, so the album closes with an instrumental called The Call of Cthulhu. This is taken an inspiration from a book by H.P. Lovecraft called The Shadow over Innsmouth.
What's the book about?
I don't know. I've never read it before, but I know H.P. Lovecraft is known for horror stories, among other things, and the title of the song, or specifically Cthulhu, actually is a modified version of the actual creature's name from the book. It's spelled slightly differently.
Mm-hmm.
But still, this song it opens with kind of an air of dark mystery and keeps you in a constant state of like foreboding anticipation.
Yeah.
And just that feeling a sense of dread as you stare into the dark unknown.
Yeah.
It does a fantastic job of building that dread and fear with just the instruments only. And it's one heck of a progressive metal song.
Yes. It feels like it's building the suspense over the song.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just that foreboding keeps building, and it's almost like, you're staring into the abyss, and all of a sudden you see a pair of glowing eyes staring back out of you out of the darkness and stuff. You know what I mean? Like something's coming. Kind of a creepy song. It fits right in with the darkness of the rest of the record. It's an outstanding way to close out the record. I mean, even without lyrics and stuff, just the music itself paints a picture, and their musicianship is top notch.
Yes.
Anything else to say on this?
No.
No? Nothing?
Nope.
All right. So we'll get into our overall album ratings for this record. Michael, I'm going to let you go ahead and go first, and go ahead and give me your overall thoughts on the record before giving me your rating out of 5.
I think this album really inspired modern metal today, and also it had very, very great vocals, instrumental, which all fit in together to create this album. I wonder how challenging it would be to learn all these songs from scratch.
I started to learn For Whom the Bell Tolls and Creeping Death, and you gotta be fast. You gotta be fast. Dad's not fast. Not even close. but you got to be fast to play some of this stuff.
My overall rating, 4.9.
4.9 out of 5. That's as close to perfect as it gets without actually being perfect. Is there any particular reason why it gets held back?
The one mid-song.
The one mid-song. Are you talking about Escape?
Yeah.
Just one song pulls it back for you?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair enough. So for me, overall, this album is just an absolute epic masterpiece. In my personal opinion, this album is where Metallica really starts to find themselves and their sound, adding melody while maintaining those really fast thrash tempos. It's the beginning of a fantastic run of records from Metallica. This one is absolutely among my favorites in their catalog. It probably actually makes top 3 easy, maybe even top 2.
Wow.
I love this record, and mind you, when I say top 2, I mean top 2 of Metallica's records. So, yeah, it's hard actually really for me not to say that this isn't my favorite Metallica record. I kind of go back and forth between this and another release later on that we will definitely have to listen to sometime called Injustice for All. But this album is just about as close to perfection as it gets for me, especially for Metallica. I am not gonna go 4.9, but I am gonna give it 4.5 out of 5.
Wow.
Yeah, I love this record. I can't do the little tenths. I'm gonna stick to the halves. So 4.5 out of 5 for me. It almost is perfect. Were it not for the fact that I don't care really for the song Escape, it may actually have gotten a perfect score for me. But as it stands, it's still a phenomenal record. Did you enjoy listening to this album? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, is it something you would revisit?
Yeah.
Excellent stuff. Does it make you want to listen to other stuff from Metallica?
Yeah.
We're definitely gonna have to. We're definitely gonna have to explore some more Metallica. You should explore some more of it on your own. And that's kind of part of the reason why we're doing this show. I'm turning you on to specific records, but what I'm hoping is that you're gonna enjoy this stuff enough that you're gonna take off and explore on your own and kind of start listening to some other stuff. You ain't gotta wait for me to assign it to you. Feel free to explore, man. That's part of the fun.
Okay.
So that takes us to our question for the audience. What is your favorite track on Ride the Lightning and why? And actually, Michael, earlier today, I posed this question to our listeners and followers on Threads. And I did get a response this evening. Stephanie Coughlin, 44 on Threads, says, the first 2 songs are instant classics of early thrash. Overall, though, the album, while really good, wasn't the band's masterpiece, in my opinion. That would be their next release, but Ride the Lightning set a great template for longer thrash songs with meaningful lyrics and engaging riffs and structures.
Wow. I was not expecting that.
Not expecting the feedback, or not expecting
the feedback?
What she said. Yeah. I was trying to drum up a little engagement and stuff. She was the only one that responded before the deadline. So I really appreciate you, Stephanie. Thanks for reaching out. Thanks for giving us the answer to the question here. Always fun to hear back from other people and hear what their opinions are on the album and stuff. Sounds like she liked it as well. So, yep. Obviously, we have not, or I have, but Michael has not heard the next album in line from Metallica, so he doesn't know the comparison that you're making, but I do, and I do understand where you're coming from on this. So I will withhold my opinion on comparisons until we actually get to the next record. Any more closing thoughts on Ride the Lightning before we move on, Michael?
Nope.
All right. So we will move on to our Can't Wait segment. This is the stuff that we're looking forward to, new music coming soon. Michael, should I bother with asking you if you've got anything on the horizon that you're looking forward to?
If one of the albums on your list is a band I've heard before, I may be looking forward to it.
Okay. So, for me, over the next couple of weeks, there's a few things that are on the way that I'm looking forward to hearing. The first one comes out on September 27th. It's from Serge Tankian. He's formerly the former lead singer for System of a Down. And he's got a new EP on the way called Foundations. Looking forward to hearing that. I enjoy hearing his stuff. On October 4th, progressive metal band Mother of Millions puts out a new album called Magna Mater. Looking forward to hearing that. I love all their other stuff, so looking forward to hearing new music from them. And then in a little bit of a bummer, Opeth's new record, The Last Will and Testament, was supposed to come out in October. I believe it was originally slated to come out on October the 15th, I think is when it was supposed to come out originally. But it got delayed. It got pushed back. There had been people mentioning online for a couple of days earlier this week that they had seen on like Spotify that the release date for the album had been pushed back to November 22nd, but there hadn't been any formal announcement from the band. And then yesterday, the band made an announcement that The Last Will and Testament had been delayed by a little over a month to November 22nd, citing production issues. My guess is that they were probably running into production delays of the vinyl version of the record, because there's only one factory in the world right now that makes vinyl records anymore. So I imagine that they probably do run into delays from time to time.
Opeth was the band that I think I've heard before.
You have.
Yeah.
We've listened to one of the singles off of this.
Yeah. And I am looking forward to that.
It's kind of a bummer it got pushed back to November, but if it means that the records that do get manufactured and ship out are in tip-top condition and there's no problems with the audio or whatnot, then the delay was worth it and stuff. Just kind of a bummer because I was so looking forward to this. I mean, I was looking forward to this more than anything else that I've looked forward to this year. So
basically, so be it.
Yeah, pretty much. Moving on from that, we did not receive any specific listener feedback. Aside from the message we got on Threads from Stephanie. So we definitely do want to hear from our listener base. We definitely want to hear back on, how we're doing. I mean, do we suck? Is there things that you would like to hear us change? Stuff that you'd like to hear us cover, We want to hear back from you on that. And there's a lot of different ways to get back in touch with us. You can reach out to us via email. You can reach out to us via all of our social accounts. All that information is in the show notes every week. We really would like to hear back from you. And next up, we are going to talk about Michael's journey, looking at a song from the past. This week, we are getting Michael's thoughts on Frank Sinatra's It Was a Very Good Year. This was recommended to us by my wife, Michael's mother. She's a big old Frank Sinatra fan. I like Frank Sinatra, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what Michael has to say. Michael, would you like me to start out with a little bit of background on the song first?
I'd like to start out with what I'm going to say.
Okay, go ahead.
I like how smooth Frank's voice is, and also the instrumental on the song. I think it complements his voice. It makes it even more smoother. It's like a slow jazz to me.
Yeah, the arrangement is really pretty. I like the strings on this. In the lyrics to the song are I feel like the song in general is really pretty, even though it has this it's kind of melancholic, right? It's kind of got a tinge of sadness to it.
Yeah, it's got like that sadness jazz, like it just has that tiny pinch, like itty bitty.
Did you like the song?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, I think you'll make mom happy hearing what you think about that. So, It Was a Very Good Year was originally composed by Irvin Drake in 1961 and originally recorded by Bob Shane with the Kingston Trio, but the song didn't become famous until Frank Sinatra did his version, and Frank's version won the Grammy Award for Best Male Vocal Performance in 1966, and also became Frank's first number one adult contemporary single. And from what I see here, it peaked at number 28 on the Hot 100 charts.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that one.
Yeah, so it was a really big hit for Frank. In all honesty, this was one of the songs from Frank that I had never heard before. So when Mom recommended that to us, I started listening to it. I've listened to it several times since she recommended it to us, and I really fell in love with it. It's a very pretty song. Again, it does have that tinge of melancholy. He seems to be recounting the different phases of his life at different ages and stuff through the lyrics.
Yeah.
And it culminates with him referring to being in the autumn of his years, which is metaphorical for being towards the end of his life, and he's kind of looking back fondly on
memories.
Kind of having nostalgic feelings for his youth and the romances of his youth. It's just I don't know how else to describe it. It makes me feel nostalgic and a bit sad, but by the same token, the music is so beautiful. The strings are just gorgeous.
Nothing else there.
You got nothing else on it?
Nope.
All right, Michael. So, what is your official rating on this one?
What have I given the past rating?
In previous installments of Michael's Journey, our first installment was Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. On that, you gave a perfect score, 5 out of 5. The second song we looked at was Stevie Wonder's Superstition, which you also gave 5 out of 5. Last episode, we covered The Temptations' My Girl, which you gave 4 out of 5. So for this one, where are we going?
Perfect.
Michael's going with the perfect score. Any particular reason?
Just mainly because of the instruments and how smooth everything fits together.
Would you listen to more Frank?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's fantastic. If you like Frank, if you like this song, you know Mom likes to listen to a lot of Christmas music around Christmas time.
Yes, way too much.
I like to listen to certain Christmas records myself. One of my favorite Christmas records is from a singer named Andy Williams, and he was popular around the same time that Frank was, and they're very similar in the styles of music that they perform. And both Frank and Andy did Christmas records, and I really think you would enjoy those. Every time I listen to either one of them, it brings back those feelings of warm nostalgia and waking up on Christmas morning with my parents and my grandparents and stuff like that. So brings back a lot of good, fond memories and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think you would enjoy those.
Mm-hmm.
But that's taking us on a tangent there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you enjoyed the song. I think Mom will be happy you enjoyed this also. Thanks for the recommendation. For your next assignment, you are going to listen to one of my personal favorite songs. This is a song from a musician named Dion, and the song is called Run Around Sue. I can't wait. To talk to you about this one. It's one of my favorites. And on our next episode, for our full topic, you're going to get to dive into some Alice Cooper. Do you know who Alice Cooper is?
I've heard you talk about him.
So we'll get into a little bit of Alice's background on the next episode, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what you think about this. We're going to be covering Alice Cooper's 1973 release, Billion Dollar Babies, which is my absolute favorite Alice Cooper record.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say about this one. And with that said, we do want to hear from you. We will read your emails and messages on the show. We have only one request: keep them clean. There are several ways to contact us. You can email us at lightmovepod@gmail.com. You can also reach us on several social media platforms such as Facebook, X, Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, and details on how to connect with us are in the show notes. If you like the show, subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting platform and share with your friends and family. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and a variety of other platforms. We're also now on YouTube. If you can't find us on your chosen platform, shoot us a message and let us know. We'll be happy to look into that for you and try and rectify it.
Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps us be found on the algorithm. Make them good and we'll read them on the air. Are you in a band and you'd like for us to check you out and possibly drop a recommendation on the show? Shoot us a message. We love to check you out and give you a shout.
We'd like to thank you very much for listening to the Leitmotif and Movement podcast. Take care and enjoy music.